Hi students, so as we have been learning in our previous classes about present tense, indicative mood, subjunctive mood, active voice and passive voice, in our today's lesson we will start with the past tense. So what is past tense? So past tense is used to describe any action, event that has already occurred in the past. In our today's lesson, we will learn about two types of voice in past tense. One is active voice and another one is passive voice. In active voice, as before, we are going to learn about indicative mood and subjunctive mood. And again, in passive voice, we are again going to learn about indicative mood and subjunctive mood. So first, we will learn about types of tenses. What are the types of tenses? So as we know already that there are four types of tenses. They are simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. We will start with simple past, and in simple past we'll start with the active voice of past tense. So what is an active voice of past tense? In an active voice, the subject of a sentence is directly performing the actions, where in passive voice the subject of a sentence is indirectly performing the actions. So what are subjects? As we learn, subjects are the person who is performing the actions. So for example, as we have learned, there are 7 types of subject. They are I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. In our today's lesson, we will learn about the simple past, and we will learn the auxiliaries which are used to construct a sentence. So in active voice of an indicative mood, the auxiliaries that we use are did. The verb is bare infinitive, and as you know, the sentence creations rule is subject plus auxiliary, and that's all. We can create the sentence using this form of simple past. I did, you did, she did, we did, they did, it did, we did, they did. Well, it's very simple. Now we will move to the subjunctive mood of active voice. In the subjunctive mood, we are not going to change any sentence orientations and the auxiliaries. So auxiliary will remain same even in subjunctive mood. For example, I did in indicative mood will be the same in subjunctive mood. You did in indicative mood will be the same in subjunctive mood. So let's make few more examples. I did, you did, he did, she did, we did, they did, and it did. So we now learn about subjunctive mood and indicative mood of simple past. So now let's move to the past continuous. In past continuous, we're going to learn about indicative mood and subjunctive mood. So what is indicative mood and what is subjunctive mood? As we know, in past continuous, most of the people get confused where to use was and where to use where. Whereas we again have a subjunctive mood of past continuous where you are going to say a statement in a past continuous form, but you need to understand when to use was and when to use where. So let's get started with the indicative mood of past continuous. So auxiliaries we use in past continuous is was or were, and the verb form is present participle with ing. So let's see a few questions. I was playing, you were W-E-R-E playing, he was playing, she was playing, it was playing, they were playing, and we were playing. Now this is the example of past continuous. Now I want you to notice that we have used were with you, we, and they. However, most of the people get confused when they use were and was while making a statement. So in our today's lesson, our aim is to make you learn English so that you will have an easy rule for you to imply and learn English effectively. To make it easier, I have developed a special rule which you can use as a trick to remember when to use was and when to use were. And the rule is WTY. What is WTY? We use only were with we, they, and you. So with this rule, you can remember the past continuous easily, and you will get to know when to use was and when to use were. Now let's move to subjunctive mood. What is subjunctive mood? As we have been learning from the previous lesson, the subjunctive mood is used to state the wishes, request, or commands. In past continuous of subjunctive mood, you do not have to remember the WTY rule which I have just given you. All you can do is just use were with 7 subjects that we have been learning so far. For example, I were playing, you were playing, he were playing, she were playing, it were playing, they were playing, and we were playing. It's pretty simple, isn't it? So you must remember that in indicative mood you must know the rule when to use were and when to use was, whereas in subjunctive mood you do not have to care about the rules. All you have to do is just use were with all of the 7 subjects and you're good to go. Now let's move to past perfect. What is past perfect tense? Well, it is a non-continuous action which is completed before a certain time. For example, I had eaten, you had written, she had played, we had played, they had played, and we had played. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is just use had in all of the subjects and you are good to go. And remember, there is no subjunctive mood and indicative mood cases here. Why? Because in past perfect, subjunctive mood and indicative mood are the same. So you do not have to worry whether you are going to use a different rule with subjunctive mood. It is similar for indicative mood and subjunctive mood. All you have to do is just use had with the subjects and the verbs and you're good to go. Now let's move to past perfect continuous. What is past perfect continuous? It is a continuous action which has completed before a certain time in past. So any action that has been completed in past within a certain time, but the action was continuous action. In this case, you are going to use past perfect continuous, and the auxiliaries for past perfect continuous had been, and verb we are going to use is present participle with ing. So subject plus auxiliary plus verb used. Now let's learn few examples and then we will get more ideas to construct sentences using past perfect continuous. So I had been playing, you had been playing, she had been playing, it had been playing, we had been playing, and they had been playing. As we have just learned about the past tense, in this lesson we are going to learn about the past participles and how you can convert any verb which is bare infinitive into past participle. For example, you often use past participle in present tense and in past tense. So to learn how you can convert any verb into past participle, you need to know the rules of converting a verb into past participle by adding ed in the end of the verb. The verb that end with silent e. So in case when a verb ends with silent e, all you have to do is just add d in the end of the verb. So it is close, close, and in past participle it can be written as closed. Now next verb is please, please, please. In past participle it can be written as pleased, pleased. Now move, 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 it can be written as moved, moved. Now in this rule we will learn how you can replace the verb y when it has one consonant before it. So in this rule, we will learn what will you do when a verb ends with Y and has one consonant before it. So in this case, when a verb ends with Y and has one consonant before it, all you have to do is replace Y with IED. So for example, the verb study, S-T-U-D-Y. So D is a consonant and Y is again a Y. So we will replace Y with IED. For example, study, S-T-U-D-Y, studied, S-T-U-D-I-E-D. Rely, R-E-L-Y, rely, R-E-L-I-E-D. Now let's move to another form of verb that is ending with Y, but it has one vowel before it. For example, play, P-L-A-Y. The verb is ending with Y, but A is a vowel. So in this case, all you have to do is add ed in the end of the verb. For example, play, P-L-A-Y, is written as P-L-A-Y, play, can be written as P-L-A-Y-E-D. Again, it's different than what we have learned in the previous rule because this is ending with Y but has one vowel before it. Likewise, convey, C-O-N-V-E-Y, conveyed, C-O-N-V-E-Y-E-D. Enjoy, E-N-J-O-Y, E-N-J-O-Y-E-D, enjoyed. So this is the rule of changing the verb into past participle, which end with Y. When a verb has one vowel and one consonant at the end of the verb, all you have to do is just double the end alphabet. For example, rub, R-U-B, can be written as rubbed, R-U-B-B-E-D in past participle. Trim, T-R-I-M, trim. So I is again a vowel and M is a consonant. So in this case, we will do trimmed, T-R-I-M-M-E-D. Plan, P-L-A-N, plan. Plan, again, A is a vowel and N is a consonant. So it can be written as planned, P-L-A-N-N-E-D. So in this case, we will see a verb which has two syllables and end with one consonant and one vowel. So in this case, all we have to do is just double the N and end alphabet and add ed in its end. For example, control, C-O-N-T-R-O-L. Control, control. So in this case, con is one syllable and troll is another syllable. So all you have to do is you have to double the end alphabet and add ed in its end. For example, controlled, C-O-N-T-R-O-L-L-E-D, controlled. Infer, I-N-F-E-R. It can be written as inferred, I-N-F-E-R-R-E-D, inferred. Permit, P-E-permit, permit, P-E-R-M-I-T-T-E-D, permitted. So in this rule, we will see a verb which has two syllables, where the first syllable pronounced heavily and the second syllable pronounced softly, and has one consonant and one vowel. For example, fasten, F-A-S-T-E-N. So in this case, all you have to do is just add ed in its end. For example, fasten, F-A-S-T-E-N. It can be F-A-S-T-E-N-E-D, fastened. Order, O-R-D-E-R. So notice order, order. So the first syllable is pronounced heavily and the second syllable is pronounced softly. So in this case, you have to write the past participle as ordered, O-R-D-E-R-E-D. Focus, focus, F-O-C-U-S. It can be written as focused, F-O-C-U-S-E-D, focused. Now for the verb that end with W, X and Y, all you have to do is just add ed in its end. For example, follow, followed, F-O-L-L-O-W-E-D, followed. Box, boxed. Portray, portrayed. Portray, portrayed. But I want you to notice something here. The verb is ending with Y, but again it has a one vowel before it. So there must be a rule here that we have learned before, which is being applied here. So you must remember the rule that we have learned before. When a verb ends with Y and has a vowel before it, and when a verb ends with Y and has a consonant before it, how you change or replace the verb. So in this rule, we will see a verb that has two vowel and one consonant at its end. And this is very interesting vowel because there are not many verbs in the English which has such arrangement. For example, rain, R-A-I-N, rain. So A-I is a vowel and N is a consonant. So in this case, all you have to do is just add rained, R-A-I-N-E-D, rained. Greet, G-R-E-E-T, greet. In this case, you see E-E is a vowel and T is a consonant. So, greeted, G-R-E-E-T-E-D, greeted. Treat, T-R-E-A-T, treat, we all love treat. It is treated, T-R-E-A-T-E-D, treated. Now in this rule, we will see a verb that ends with D or T. So it's very simple. All you have to do is just add ed in its end. For example, add, A-D-D, add. It is added, A-D-D-E-D, added. Hunt, H-U-N-T, hunt. Hunted, H-U-N-T-E-D, hunted. Land, L-A-N, land. Landed, L-A-N-D-E-D, landed. Now in this rule, we will see a verb that ends with E but has D and T before it. So for this verb, what you have to do is add D in its end without replacing any alphabet. For example, fade, F-A-D-E. E is again the end and D is coming right before E. So in this case, you have to add D in its end. Fade, F-A-D, fade, faded, F-A-D-E-D, faded. Glide, G-L-I-D, glide, glided, G-L-I-D-E-D, glided. Cite, C-I-T, cite, C-I-T-E-D, cited. But you must remember, there are certain irregular verbs and there is no rule of replacing any alphabets. All you have to do is just remember this verb using your dictionary or from wherever you can get it, because these are Old English and there is no rule for such verbs. So the verb are begin, begun, find, found, go, gone, let, take, taken. So there is no rule for this and you have to remember them. So with this, I'm ending this lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have liked this lesson, please do subscribe to our channel because your subscription means a lot to us. And feel free to comment below for any next lesson that you like to learn from us, and we'll be happy to make a video for you on that lesson.